Welcome back to Pilot Light Your Writing. So last time I asked you to work on your characters, to find their traits, how they look like, their psychology, the way they behave, their wants, their needs. And now that you have all this, you need to create a story for these wonderful characters. So obviously we are going to need a plot and you are going to need a lot of conflict. You've probably heard it before. Conflict in a story is very important simply because it reflects life. Life is full of conflicts. And if you have a story and there is no conflict, people will not believe in it. And also they wouldn't see the point because, as I told you before, the reason why they are reading a book or watching a film, it's because they want some answers to what really matters to them. The questions that they have in their everyday life. So it could be about succeeding at work, relationships, all kind of relationships, parenting, friendship, how to deal with bullying, for instance. These are conflict. That's why people are watching or reading those stories. So how do you create that conflict? Well, obviously the most natural way would be to create a want for your characters. And I say all your characters, they want something and obviously they're not going to get it. That's a conflict. They want a relationship and that is not going to happen. They're going to have trouble finding that relationship, etc., etc., etc. So basically you place a want in each character and a struggle to get it. They are not getting it. If they get it, it would be at the end of the story because then the story is over. The people are interested in the struggle. How do they overcome the struggle? How do they get the thing they really desperately want? That's the question that the reader or viewer is asking when they watch something. It's called internal conflict and external conflict. And these two should be there. So obviously, don't dismiss the fact that yes, your characters have wants and needs. They want something and they're not going to get it because you're going to work on that. You're going to make sure they're not going to get it. But at the same time, you're going to complicate things and you're going to add internal conflict and external conflict. Let's start with the external conflict. The external conflict, it's like some people call it life, some people call it karma, some people call it fate, destiny. It's something that happens to your character or to you for that matter, and you haven't decided for this to happen. It happened to you. It happened to your characters. Well, for your characters, you decided, obviously, because you wrote them. But in life, in real life, is events, things that happen to your characters and they didn't see it coming. It just happened to them. It's like something from above. It could be an encounter, an accident, sudden loss. It's something they didn't predict. It could also be like something that seems positive. They had a job promotion and they think it's the best thing that happened to them, but somehow it won't be. So it's everything that external is external to your character. It's something that just land on their feet and they didn't see that coming. So obviously, if the thing that is happening and it's positive, you can start a story with something positive happening to your characters. They think it's amazing and then it's gonna turn dark. It's possible. You've got many horror stories where they buy a huge house and they think it's such a bargain and then they realize after a week or so that the house is haunted. So you start very well, very, very happy and not so happy. And you can have the other thing is, something really bad happens to your character and the whole thing is about getting out of this situation, resolving the situation, resolving that trauma. And then basically what you're going to do is work it out with him or with her. You might finish quite negatively. It's up to you. It depends on the genre you're writing, obviously. This is what most screenwriters do. They think of their characters and they love them very much, obviously. They create created them. So they are really close to their characters. They live in our heads. So obviously we want to care about them, but we can't, because otherwise we don't have a story. So what do? We are going to force ourselves to answer that question. What is the worst that could happen to your character? What is the worst that could happen to your character? And obviously, there is not one answer to that question, especially in writing. There is 10, 20, 50 answers to that. Because obviously, the first thing that will come to your mind will be a cliche, yeah. Very often when I give this exercise to my students and they say, well, the worst thing that could happen to my character is obviously he's going to die. Yes, that's the obvious one. So, okay, write it down. And then the second thing would be also a cliche, but write it down too. And you go on like that until you reached at least number 10, 15, 20, even better. Because then you will find strong hints on what is going to happen to your character. And then your plot, one of your plot will shape from that. And it's an organic way to really think, I haven't thought about that. That could be quite original if it happens to my character. And obviously you don't dismiss the other things that I told you, like your character wants something and he's not going to attain it that easily. But also life is really horrible sometimes. That's how you should be with your characters. If you're nice with your characters, these stories gonna lack of conflict. And for some screenwriters, they probably receive notes from script readers saying the story lacks of conflict. It's because of that. It's because everything that is happening to your character is so nice, is so easy. He goes through life so easily. It's amazing, yes, but it's not life. So I let you do this list of 10 worst things that could happen to your characters. And next time we talk about the internal conflict. See you next time. Bye.